Namaste, Suswagatam, and welcome to our Sunday edition of Gyan Ganga Words of Wisdom on our Virat Hindustan Sangam social media channels. We are today at episode number 270, and today's topic of discussion with Dr. Subramanian Swamy and the team is, has India's global stature declined? And for the next 45 minutes or so, we will be discussing this important topic. But before we proceed, as usual, Virat Hindustan Sangam recalls and pays tribute to some unsung heroes of our freedom struggle. And today we have one such person, that is freedom fighter Rao Tularam from what is today Haryana. We'll have a short video and a slide on Rao Tularam.
In the heart of Revri, Haryana, on 9th December 1825, was born Rao Tularam, scion of an Ahir Zemindar family, educated in Persian, Urdu, Hindi, and some English. By age 14, following his father's death, young Tularam assumed charge of Rampura and Revri, administrating land revenue and equipping a small cannon foundry. When the revolt of 1857 erupted, one of the earliest rebellions sparked in Revri. On 17th May, Tularam, with 400 to 500 men, occupied the tehsil, declared allegiance to Emperor Bahadur Shah, and set Rampura as his provisional seat of power. He armed and funded rebel sepoys, an army of some 5,000 soldiers, a munitions workshop, and revenue of over 150,000 rupees were marshalled to support the uprising. On 16th November, at the Battle of Nasipur, near Narnaul, his forces routed British troops, beheading several officers, scattering the rest. But British reprisals followed. Reinforcements from Naga ascetics and Sikh princes turned the tide, compelling Tularam to retreat. As Delhi's last resistance crumbled, he fled India. He travelled through Afghanistan, Iran, and even sought aid from Tsarist Russia to reignite the flames of revolt. Tragically, on 23rd September,
Virat Hindustan Sangam pays tributes to this great warrior. We have a slide in Hindi and English on him. With these words, it is over to Dr. Subramanian Swamy to initiate today's interesting discussion on India's global stature. Over to Dr. Swamy.
Thank you, Jagdish. First of all, I'd like to say that since 1947, when we became independent, we have not been a global power. we have there was a period when because we were espousing non-alignment, um, the world um, uh, connected us with the Mahatma Gandhi's peace view. And so there was a period when we were respected as a country, but not as a power. And but after Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru began cultivating the Chinese, the Western nations all turned against India. And whatever international stature we had completely disappeared and has remained disappeared, except for a brief period when Narasimha Rao removed socialism and brought in market economy. And that excited a lot of people all over the world. And even China, which was trying hard to have a market economy, couldn't match the speed with which Narasimha Rao transformed our economic system. So today, when we talk about the stature of India, what we are really talking is that with almost zero stature, we have come down to minus stature. And what are the areas where we have become minus is what I will be discussing today. If anybody wants to challenge it and say, no, we are in such and such time, we were a great world power and everybody came and frustrated me, I'll be happy to debate with them in this session. But the fact is that we are not being considered seriously where we should have been considered if we were a global power. For example, the United Nations. The United Nations, the first time when we became free, and China had not become free, just after World War One, the American authorities, they approached our ambassador in Washington, that is Vijayalakshmi Pandit, the sister of Jawaharlal Nehru, and say that we are now constructing a new United Nations, and we want you to be the fifth power, and by being with a veto power in this Security Council. And today there are 5, but instead of India, the Chinese, the Communist Chinese have come, who had been removed because in 1946 Mao Zedong had toppled the democratic China and established a communist China. And so for many years they were not considered. But India was there was a pleading of India for about 4 or 5 years, and Jawaharlal Nehru took the stand. No, this is a seat which really belongs to China. Why? Because during World War II, the Shanghai Shek group, which is now Taiwan, they were part of the group of 5. And these 5 were to be formed, but then it was also decided that the 6th would be India. But what we found ultimately is that Taiwan was replaced by China and India was nowhere. So why India lost this Security Council a permanent seat, and we accepted as a great power, and being considered with a veto power, where you could stop anything in this Security Council. So let me begin by saying that what is the fall that I'm talking about? We had already fallen. We didn't count for anything. We just made speeches, but that's about all. But now what we are doing is there is a conspicuous attempt being made to scale us down to one of the smaller countries. So the biggest stupidity of Mr. Modi was when he agreed with Trump to sit with the Pakistanis and then tell the Pakistanis, we were given sermons by Trump, and we finally agreed that we will not proceed anymore. There will be the whole fight that India had begun was terminated. What we should have done and what was expected inside Pakistan was that Baluchistan, Sindh, and Pakhtunistan, they all three wanted to break with Pakistan, just like Bangladesh broke with Pakistan. They wanted to break with they had immediately they had this issue that they completely put us in the back seat. Now, America had the audacity to call Pakistan and India, and they sit and give them sermons, and we did it. This is the inferiority complex which Mr. Modi has, which converts itself into a superiority complex when he deals with the Indians. He treats Indians like dirt, but when it comes to these big powers, he prostrates before them, no matter what insults that they may give. So I would say that I would begin by saying that our global status was lost a long time ago when Jawaharlal Nehru lost to China. We could have, even then, if we had taken a hard line and prepared to fight China militarily and not give sermons on peace, and which Jawaharlal Nehru was all the time giving, and our military was not ready. They were wearing tennis shoes and going to the iciest part of the coolest, the coldest part of Himalayas, and dying there. This looked like a ridiculous representation of our country. And after 1962, we have been falling. The only time there was a turnaround was when Narasimha Rao decided to give up socialism. Then the entire Western world joined to make him into a great leader. But Miss Sonia Gandhi did not allow Narasimha Rao to go any further, and Narasimha Rao ultimately, soon enough, died in the hospital. So today, what Mr. Modi has done is cheapened the seat of the Prime Minister of India. How many places he is going? Today he is going to all these chota-mota countries. Why is he going to these chota-mota countries? What is he going to get out of it? You think that they will get status by that? So let us discuss today what is it that India should aspire to become a country with some status. First of all, we must be ready to fight with China and tell them to get out of India. And it is possible because China has crossed the mountains and come into Ladakh. And Mr. Modi and his pipsqueak sidekick, who's our foreign minister, they signed the agreement that which literally said that parts of undisputed India and Ladakh were handed over to China. How do I know? I've been told by the officials, but there is no publication of our maps. Modi has banned it. Even Parliament doesn't get to see what was the new agreement that we have come to and the new map that we have drawn for the sake of the Chinese. When I first pointed out that China had walked into India, and what did Modi say? Koi aaya hi nahi, koi gaya hi nahi. He tried to make fun of it. But today, can he dare to tell us what is it that he signed with China? And what are the parts that which China wanted, and it was undisputed India, which we have given away. So Mr. Modi will have to be one day, prosecuted for treason in allowing our land, Bharat Mata ki property to the Chinese. So therefore, I would rather say, let us say not that India as global status has declined. India's global status didn't exist, and now it is collapsed after the cheap way with which we sat with the Pakistanis and said, no, we will not anymore fight with each other, and we will do as the American president tells us. And we have therefore all over the world, everybody laughed about it. Only our newspapers didn't carry it, because otherwise, we would have all come to know about it. This is the situation today. We have not only declined, we have collapsed. We don't have a status. So now he is going to all these chota mota countries, because no big country wants to invite him anymore. So over to you, Jagdish. This is my opening remark.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy, for that quick insight on the present stature of India and the past history. I would now request अरविंद चतुर्वेदी, आप आपका अगला सवाल डॉक्टर स्वामी से करें. कोशिश करें आप हिंदी में करें.
जी जी, धन्यवाद धन्यवाद जगदीश. जो हमारे आज का बहस का विषय है, क्या भारत का ग्लोबल स्तर, वैश्विक स्तर गिरा है. तो मैं डॉक्टर स्वामी को कुछ चीज़ें जो अभी हाल में घटी हैं उसका रिमाइंड करना चाहता हूं, और फिर उनसे डॉक्टर स्वामी की राय जानना चाहूँगा. जैसे कि सभी को पता है, हमने ऑपरेशन सिंदूर किया 22 अप्रैल के पहलगाम हमले के बाद, और दुनिया भर में हमने कोशिश की कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के पक्ष में हम दुनिया की राय अपने भारत के पक्ष में इकट्ठा करें. और इसके लिए हमने 59 एमपीज और ब्यूरोक्रेट्स को लेकर 7 डेलीगेशन जगह जगह भेजे, और गोदी मीडिया ने प्रचार किया कि हाँ, हमारा पूरे देश, पूरी दुनिया में समर्थन मिल रहा है. लेकिन मैं डॉक्टर स्वामी आपको रिमाइंड करना चाहता हूं कि अभी पिछले 10-15 दिनों में क्या हुआ है. यूनाइटेड नेशंस की एक बॉडी है जो एंटी टेररिज्म के डील करती है. पाकिस्तान को उसमें वाइस चेयरमैन का पद दे दिया गया है. इंटरनेशनल मॉनिटरी फंड ने 7 अरब डॉलर, $7 बिलियन की बेल आउट पैकेज पाकिस्तान को दिया है. एशियन डेवलपमेंट बैंक एडीबी ने पाकिस्तान को मदद पहुंचाई, जबकि भारत उसका सदस्य था, और भारत ने खुलकर उसका विरोध भी नहीं किया. लेकिन भारत के विरोध के बावजूद ऐसा हुआ. यूनाइटेड नेशंस, इंटरनेशनल मॉनिटरी फंड, इन दोनों जगह अमेरिका का बहुत बड़ा प्रभुत्व है. अमेरिका डोमिनेंट पोजीशन में है और जो अपनी राय रखता है उस पर कायम हो सकता है. लेकिन डोनाल्ड ट्रंप की और नरेंद्र मोदी जी की मशहूर दोस्ती के बावजूद ये हुआ कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के बाद, जहां पूरी दुनिया में पाकिस्तान की नाक काटी जानी चाहिए थी और पाकिस्तान को महत्व दिया जा रहा है, खासतौर से यूनाइटेड नेशंस और इंटरनेशनल मॉनिटरी फंड जैसी वैश्विक बॉडीज में. और पाकिस्तान का जो आर्मी चीफ है मुनीर, उसको खासतौर से बुलाया गया अमेरिका की आर्मी के फंक्शन में. और अब दुनिया भर में जिसको आतंकवाद के चलते भारत ने प्रचार किया कि मुनीर ने प्रचार किया भारत के खिलाफ और आतंकवाद को बढ़ावा दिया. तो हम ये समझते हैं कि ये जो घटनाएं हैं और ये अभी हाल में घटी, 15-20 दिनों की बात है, बहुत पुरानी बात नहीं है। हम पुरानी बातों में जाएंगे तो बहुत लंबा एक कच्चा चिट्ठा खुल जाएगा। डॉक्टर स्वामी, मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूँ, ये जो घटनाएं भी हाल में घटी हैं, क्या ये इस बात की पुष्टि करती हैं, whether these incidents, whether these happenings establish the fact that India's global stature has declined?
Okay, first of all, let me say that I don't think that we had much of a stature after 1962. Before 1962, it was just a lot of hot air that Jawaharlal Nehru was putting across, and the Chinese were at that time considered as a communist country, dangerous for every neighbor in Southeast Asia. So India had some traction. But once 1962 took place, India lost it completely. There was a brief increase when we were able in the Sikkim area to eject the Chinese in I think it was 1968. Not 1968, 1998. And but then nothing much came out of it because we decided to withdraw and the Chinese took it over. Recently, Jawaharlal Nehru was completely was put into the side by Mr. Modi when he had a treaty drawn up, a new map was drawn up, and that gave China all the territories which our Jawans had fought, including the Galwan area. So I find that this betrayal was subject to the normal suppression of information in the newspapers. But nobody dared to even bring it up. And if I made a statement, it wasn't published. So this is the situation that I think shows to the world that we are not worthy of being called a world power or a big power or an important power. And what about the latest one? Why did we go and sit like school children before Mr. Trump? We had no need to do that. And he said, okay, we will have we will call off our military operations because you say so. And it was a joke. And it is such a big letdown of three states of Pakistan. And I named them in the early part of my talk. And they have been let down. We could have made Pakistan into 1/4 of what it is today if we had allowed these nations to and supported them and sent the military to help them to create a new country like Bangladesh was created. So, but we didn't do it. So, at the moment, I would say the question of the status, we had very poor status. We were not given the United Nations permanent position because Jawaharlal Nehru said it belongs to China. Well, I mean, you may say that China deserves a permanent seat, but when the seat was offered to you in writing, it was also sent to Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, who was the ambassador, to say, please tell your brother that we are waiting for this to be done. But Mr. Nehru rejected it, and afterwards, no prime minister decided to reopen the matter. And so I think, what I'm trying to say is that the title that, has it gone down? No, it has not gone down. It has just become more obvious that we are people who are like jokers in a circus. We don't know how to put our strength across and make it work. And the latest one being is the way we succumbed to Pakistan on the pressure of the Americans.
Yeah.
Ramesh, before I go for my question or comment, Ramesh, you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At the onset, on behalf of VHS, VHS as the entire family, we are sorry to hear about the Air India crash. It has been a tragic incident, be it for the passengers who were in the aircraft and who were in the ground. So, on behalf of VHS, I want to convey our prayers and condolences to the family. Dr. Swamy, from the topic today as India's global stature decline, so I'd like to ponder on only one important aspect, Dr. Swamy. In the recent Pakistan-India clash or India-Pakistan clash, the US had hyphenated this whole thing, India, Pakistan, whatnot. In Modi, as of today, has visited the 74th unique country in the world, to going to Cyprus. And none of the 74 countries that he visited stood by India.
Yeah.
He has visited America 10 times. What did they do? Dictated to India as to what needs to be done, and we, like pussycats, just followed it. Is this not a simple enough answer, Dr. Swamy, to answer our questions today as India's global stature? Not even a single country stood by India, in spite of the fact that Pakistan provoked an incident, created this incident, and killed 26 people in our soil, leave alone every other part. I mean, just the most recent incident. Isn't this an important question that every citizen of India should think? So why is this so-called Vishwaguru who globetrots every day or the other? What is the need for him to globetrot to Cyprus today also, Dr. Swamy? What is the need?
Yeah.
Cyprus's economy is not. Maybe, but for some viewer just said, but for Vinod Adani being a citizen of Cyprus, what was the need for India to do? What is India's economic relationship with Cyprus? Zero, Dr. Swamy. What did they do? Such a small country. What is the point of Modi visiting 74 countries, visiting America 10 times, France 11 times? Why has none of these countries supported India, Dr. Swamy? The biggest question that I have. Why? Because global stature, if America respects you, at least that I'll come to the G7 issue later, Dr. Swamy. The first question is this, and I will come to the humiliation that India faced in G7 later.
But first of all, why is it the opposition is not making an issue of it?
All threatened, Dr. Swamy. Everybody is threatened. They don't want to open their mouth. They are afraid.
Yeah, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is a citizen of Britain, and he's afraid any day Mr. Modi just says that he's no more an Indian citizen because I'm in court, and in the court, the government spokesmen are all trying to drag the matter. But the fact is that it just shows that if there is a hope, it is only by a rejuvenated BJP, not from any of the other parties, because all the other parties seem to be complicit in restoring the dignity of India. So I would say, in answer to your question, I would move it more directly. I think that those who have great power in the BJP should ask Mr. Modi to step down and say that your popularity has been declining. This time you didn't even get absolute majority. Now, after going to Cyprus, you come back and submit your resignation. That is what I think we can do. Can't do anything more than that.
So, Dr. Swamy, the second question, the G7 in Canada. Initially, they did not want to invite Modi at all.
Yeah.
I mean, what has India got to do with G7? I mean, first of all, leave that moot point aside. But you're anyway going in as an observer, okay? And they did not invite. Okay, you're going in as an observer. What? Maybe the waiter and Modi are going to serve chai and tea or whatever. I don't know what they're going to go there. But because one is a chai wala and other is a waiter. So I think it will be a good combo. But other than that, Dr. Swamy, they are only an observer. And first, they did not invite. And when there was a hue and cry, when the Toronto Sun and the Toronto Star raised this and they openly said they are not going to be after begging in, after your Minister of External Affairs begged, borrowed, whatnot, they invited him. And the Toronto Star exposed this, saying that Modi has been invited with conditions which was readily accepted by India.
Yeah.
This is about the Niger case, so that India will cooperate with the Canadian thing. There it is. There you go. That is the thing. So we are with a ton of conditions. Why should India accept these conditions? And I mean, if we are a major player in G7, it makes sense. I don't even know if that makes. Why do you accept conditions for a visit to Canada or to go to G7? Why do you even, why suffer this humiliation? Isn't this also not a huge humiliation for India? And basically the world doesn't look India as a great a country because of our leadership. And again shows in the global in the world, the stature of India is deteriorating day by day by these antiques. I mean, this, we have not shown our spine. If first stop, Dr. Swamy, if in the Pakistan history, if Modi has said to Trump, "This is why you chill down, give me 3 more days, I want to finish off whatever I want to do, and then we'll talk about ceasefire." No, he didn't do that. Immediately surrendered. What did he say? This Minister of External Affairs, one day he said, "Oh, we want Pakistan some 30 minutes before. We gave them a warning." And suddenly, a few days later, we want them after 30 minutes. Why do you want them after the fact? I don't get that point. So that is one point. Second, they said, no, when US reached out to us, we said they should call us. That is also a statement by the same Minister of External Affairs. 2 days later, he said, US did not even intervene. We ourselves decided for ceasefire. First of all, why do you have to accept for a ceasefire? When you know Pakistan is an aggressor, you didn't get the terrorists who killed the 26 people. I know we're slightly going off topic, but at the end of the day, coming back to this,
Yes.
in any of these cases, Dr. Swamy, India's stature is declining, so no country will respect you. Isn't that a fact, Dr. Swamy? And I would also like to throw it open to others if they have to chime in, because this is my, as an observer, you show a strength, people respect you. If you don't show strength, nobody will respect you.
Well, I totally agree, and I would say that in a very small way, when Chandrasekhar was Prime Minister, we wanted a loan from the and VP Singh had made a mess of the economy. So Chandrasekhar said, "Tijori mein kuch hai nahi, kuch IMF se mangwana chahiye." So I as that time as a Commerce Minister and Law Minister, I raised the matter, and the IMF said, "No, we won't give it because there are conditions we have to fill out for this, that." And we got an opportunity when the Americans came to us and said that because of Saddam Hussein, we are moving our planes from Philippines to Kuwait, and therefore we want to refuel in India. So I said, "You can't get it for nothing." They said, "What would you like? We will pay you all the fuel costs and so on." I said, "No, you just give us $2 billion." In those days, $2 billion was quite a lot from the IMF. Otherwise, we are not going to give you to land your aircraft. Americans happily gave it, and they told me this is the first time we've been bargaining in India like men, and we congratulate you. So there's a way of dealing it. Crawl before them. You should see in all these parties that Mr. Modi organized, how he cringes before them and how everybody is running around like waiters to hand over coffee and so on and so forth. It's a sickening decline that has taken place. If any decline has taken place, it's the fall of self-respect that has taken place in Modi's tenure.
Dr. Okay, Ramesh, you are.
Jagdish, you go ahead.
Dr. Swamy, as Ramesh Swamy has just mentioned, and at the beginning when he made his first remarks about Modi's trip to the various countries, including small islands or Cyprus and all that, he also mentioned that how many times Modi went to US. And even we know that during his tenure, Modi's tenure as CM of Gujarat, he went 10 times perhaps to China. I don't
Yes.
know why a state chief minister would like to go 10 times to China. And then he had also claimed that he had various नाता है मेरा चाइना से, चाइना का जो एक ऑब्जर्वर आया था एंशंट इंडिया में, तो वो मेरे गांव से था, and all those funny type of stories that aside. Even after becoming prime minister, he had 18 one-to-one meeting with the Chinese top leadership. And all of a sudden, we noticed during the COVID period, during April and May 2020, that China is conveniently crossing the LAC and we are doing nothing. Just to inform our viewers, today is the 5th anniversary of the Galwan clashes, where we lost nearly 20 of our brave hearts who fought with bare hands the Chinese army. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, and Dr. Swamy, correct me if I'm wrong, the plot of land or the piece of land or the Galwan top for which India fought bravely, our Indian soldiers fought bravely, is today in the control of China.
That's right.
And
Without yeah.
Without any approval, without anything, the plot or the top of Galwan Hills for what our brave soldiers fought is today conceded privately by the Prime Minister to China. So in that process, we have lost 4,065 square kilometers of fresh land to China. We are not talking about Nehru's folly or what happened 62 and before that. We are talking about friend, but we are not doing anything for it. Our stature is anyway lost because we are not able to retaliate. And our Prime Minister says after the 10 visits and 18 one-to-one talk, कि कोई आया नहीं, कोई गया नहीं. Dr. Swamy tries to raise it in Parliament. That thing is denied, saying that this is not in national interest to disclose. And as Dr. Swamy has been saying, if we had occupied Chinese land, maybe we don't want to disclose it, maybe that is not in national interest. But if our land has been captured by China, what is the national interest for not disclosing the land? Even Dr. Swamy's RTI questions are denied. Dr. Swamy is in the Delhi High Court to get the government to act on the RTI regarding China. So all put together, Dr. Swamy, the Prime Minister's visit, as we now know from any RTI things of the various embassies across the world, the amount of public money that has been wasted on drumming up support for Modi's foreign visit and welcome by the Indian government, that has not got the returns in terms of our stature improving, foreign countries standing up to India. He may have hugged more than a dozen leaders across the globe, but that hug is not coming into practice. They are not standing with India. All these Islamic countries, including the Pope, he has been hugging. Normally, to a religious person, we will not go and hug the Shankaracharyas. We do our pranam and touch his feet. But this man even hugs everybody. Even the Pope he has hugged. So where are these people, these foreign countries and their leaders when it comes to supporting India? And just now I'm told, I think it may be displayed, although we may say that no, Trump did not play any role to stop Operation Sindoor, but it is all known, just as you say on the display, the latest from Donald Trump. Trump has been clearly saying that he stopped the Operation Sindoor from India taking more steps against Pakistan. So it all proves that Donald Trump has been able to manipulate Modi, and indirectly to manipulate India, and this only shows that our stature is being diminished day by day. I mean, it is going below the normal line. As Dr. Swamy says, it all started by Jawaharlal Nehru, and we not taking positive step. We are such a big nation, third largest GDP in terms of purchasing power parity, which even our government doesn't know, and it keeps on saying different things. The largest population we have, it's a big advantage, but still the world leaders are not taking India seriously. Dr. Swamy, what do you think could India have done differently, at least in the last 11 years, to get a better response from the world leaders? Can you tell? Because even in the Gaza war, which Israel has been fighting, and even throwing out Hamas and all those people, and even attacking Iran, they have not bothered whether some world leaders support them or not. Even sometime when USA says a ceasefire, they have not been bothered. Their goal is fixed to chase these terrorists and kill them. But India has surrendered on Operation Sindoor. But I want to ask, because on behalf of numerous questions from the viewers, what India could have done differently, at least when the BJP government has been in power for the last more than 11 years, to regain the stature that India deserves?
First of all, I would say that every other country of any stature, like, having a big geographical position and so on, like say China or Russia or United States, these countries have a very large area which they call as their country. The fact is that you have not been able to even defend your own country. I am now, I'll start, it's not only Mr. Modi, but Modi has made it much, much worse. When the British left India, they said any Raja who merges his state with India cannot be questioned. So 406 Rajas merged with India. Kashmir also merged with India. But Jawaharlal Nehru said, no, there will be a plebiscite that will be conducted. Why? Now the same disease is continuing. Today, Modi is just the worst manifestation of what Jawaharlal Nehru did. Even in the case of poor Lal Bahadur Shastri, he gave a thorough beating to the Pakistanis. In fact, Lahore almost was taken over, and the Russians intervened, the Soviet Union intervened. And then he went there to Soviet Union, and I'm sure that he was murdered and sent back, because the resistance, a small resistance that Lal Bahadur Shastri showed was enough for that. After that, the only leader I know who had some resistance was Narasimha Rao. He very courageously recognized Israel and had the ambassadors being posted in both places, which no other Vajpayee couldn't do it. And Jawaharlal Nehru, who had promised to do it, didn't do it. So I am saying that the psyche is, just play, way of avoiding any controversy. Controversy is somehow, people think that it will bring you a bad name, and that's how it has been going on. I would say today, if Mr. Modi had the slightest nationalistic streak in him, he will break his relations with China, at least send the ambassador back. Say, I don't want your ambassador here till you clear the area. But he cannot do it anymore, because he has signed an agreement with them in which he has conceded all the things that they wanted, including Dapsang and all these other places, which are crucial for our sending our troops across to Tibet whenever we wanted. Now we can't do it. So, and the country is in such a way that press censorship is so in such a way that if you criticize the prime minister, it looks as if everybody says no. How can you criticize the prime minister? In England, Winston Churchill brought down the prime minister because he was engaging with Hitler, and saved England from being swallowed by Hitler. Now that's the way it has to be. If you are betraying your country, some members of your party should stand up and say, "Mr. Modi, get out of the way," or "Why have you done this?" They won't even let me get an answer in the parliament. What's the use of being in parliament if I file a petition to know what the exact position is, and they don't give an answer, and for months and months they won't give you an answer. So one last hope is, of course, get the answers from the court, but the court, is a slow process. So I would say what our job today is to evoke the people of India to say that this is what is happening, and you have been swallowing it and taking it because the media is dishing it out, is the way that the people in power want it to be dished out. And that's why our program that we are holding today is in order to tell the people that we have been treated. We are a country with the largest population in the world. We are a country with the third largest GDP country in the world. I mean, what is it that we are short in? We have intelligent people all over the world working for other governments, and because they don't get jobs here. So I think this self-confidence of the people has to be, that's the only way we can go forward.
Yes, Ramesh ji.
So, Dr. Swamy, I have one follow-up question. So, this
Yes.
so-called from a STATURE, this so-called multi-MP delegation visiting some hundreds of countries all over the world, did they have any influence in at least increasing the stature of this country? I mean, what was the purpose of this? They wanted to go there and increase, say, India's cost. Even that visit, Dr. Swamy, after enormous cost to the exchequer and taxpayer money,
Yes.
thousands of crores wasted, as one of the viewers is showing out here. With this delegation, we don't know how much was spent. We will probably, somebody will file a freedom of an RTI saying that how much was spent on this so-called jaunt that all these MPs went around the globe. Even then, Dr. Swamy, not even a single country came out. In none of these delegations did not meet even at a low level, secretary level in any of the government. All ex-ministers, ex-prime ministers, all these ex-people. Nobody from a credible government ever met with these people. So-called delegation. In what case did they put forth of India to say that our stature to vindicate that we took the right action?
What right action did they take?
No. Even of this 3-day war against Pakistan, what was the objective? They wanted to go and say why India was right. I don't think they achieved anything, because if they had achieved, at least 2 or 3 countries of all these things they visited would have supported India and says India should have attacked Pakistan. None. Zero. Only Taliban supported. I mean, I don't understand why people, they're either completely drunk on Modi Kool-Aid and they just don't care for whatever is, they don't want, they just shut off everything else and believe whatever this fellow does is right. Why don't they just step out? All these educated idiots, why can't they just step back and say, you know what, why are we spending so much of money on all of this chance? And we did not achieve anything. For everything else, everybody wants to, India, when it's money going out of their pocket, they want to say, can I extract 2 rupees extra from the fruit vendor on the street? But they don't ask these questions to Modi, who's just spending money left, right, and center and all this. Nothing has happened, Dr. Swamy. Why don't people in India, and you just mentioned, so if people wanted to, people are afraid. Why? You said opposition is afraid, media is afraid, people are afraid. How can you have such a country and expect the stature to go up, Dr. Swamy?
Well, you know, you yourself once dug up an enormous thing in which in any other country would have been explosive. And that is that Rahul Gandhi had declared himself as a citizen of Britain and given it to the British authorities so that he can open a factory in Britain.
Yeah.
Now, I gave it to Mr. Our Home Minister, Rajnath Singh,
at that time.
and he sent, after getting it verified from the Indian embassy that what I had given was true, he sent a letter to Mr. Rahul Gandhi saying that in your signature, we are verified, you have said that you are a citizen of Britain. Is it, are you confirming it or not? He did not reply. But Modi removed Rajnath and sent him to defense. And for 6 years, Amit Shah would not touch the file. How many times I spoke to Amit Shah? It's all he would do. He would laugh about it. So finally I had to go to court. But court, they have their own pace. Naturally, they have to give the other side an opportunity. Now, I'm saying if a person who is in your parliament in the name of being an Indian citizen has admitted in writing that he is a citizen of Britain and it is confirmed by your then Home Minister, why isn't the Prime Minister acting? Because he thinks this way he can control Rahul Gandhi. That's the only politics that Modi seems to know. Not for the greatness of India, but for, seeing that nobody comes in his way.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy. Arvind?
Yeah, I think Dr. Swamy has already analyzed the current situation, and all of us have added to this. The topic of the today is India losing the global sheen. Now, Dr. Swamy, last question, maybe you can be very brief. What should be done? In shortest possible words, what should be done?
I think what is being done, like what we are doing today, is the only way in a democracy. It worked with Indira Gandhi, and I'm sure that it will work. After all, Mrs. Indira Gandhi had complete throttle, put everybody's hand on everybody's throat. But in the end, it prevailed, and she was defeated in the elections. So I think this is it. But I personally think that within the party, I don't want to name names, but they are all extremely upset with the fact that we who are for Hindu Rashtra are having a situation where we are being selling out to the Videshi Rashtras. See, so I think changes will come. We should not get in even our program that we are doing today will reach, and if it's debated, will have an impact. And I'm 100% certain that Mr. Rahul Gandhi will have to go back to Britain and his mother to France or Italy. Yeah, and we will achieve it. But we have to keep going at it because the public is all said and done in our favor, but they are afraid that they will be put upon or some policeman will come to their house. So they are expressing their appreciation through means by which they will not be traced. And we should respect that till we reach a situation like in the emergency when election was declared and that time the people came out. They never expressed their opinion against the emergency before the elections were declared. once the elections are declared, they came out and defeated Mrs. Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi. So I think we should have faith that way. We should continue our thing, put it across, and in the end, it will all filter in.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy. And it is not only the international image that we are talking about. We have discussed earlier in this program with Dr. Swamy and concluded that it's not only the international image, even the economy, Indian economy has suffered badly over the years, and it is all round. I mean, when we talk about international image, look at our neighbors. India's neighbors will also confirm that, whether it is Nepal or Mauritius or Sri Lanka or Bangladesh. I mean, these neighbors also, Bangladesh, for example, was created by India just about 50 years ago. And what is the relation with Bangladesh today? So India has suffered the global image, and there's sufficient evidence to prove that. Well, Dr. Swamy, thank you very much. And we look for the solutions. Maybe leadership change is one of the solutions possible. But let's see how the things take their shape in the future. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ramesh Swamy, for your analysis from the US perspective. Thanks, Jagdish Shetty ji, for organizing this program and conducting it so well over the years, and our technical team led by Ashish Shetty, Gadgi Rakesh, Swaminathan, Tejas Nabalgul, Ishwar Iyer, Ajesh Nair, and Gurudat Shetty all have been contributing to make this program a success. We'll be meeting again next Sunday. Next Sunday, we are on 25th June. We have 50th anniversary of the Black Day of Emergency, and we would like to discuss the solutions to the threat to the democracy, what was done 50 years back, how it can be controlled. Thank you all. We'll be meeting next Sunday. Till then, namaskar, Jai Hind,
Jai Hind.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri
Jai
Ram.
Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.